Okay, so this is a very simple way to help relax tension in our hands and our fingers, which happens quite a lot when we're doing a lot of work on a keyboard, or if you find that you are upset about something or annoyed about something, you tend to take it out on your hands and your fingers. They get quite tight, and the muscles here and the fascia of your hands tends to shorten between the tip of the finger and the palm, and we tend to get claw fingers and hands. Okay, so you're going to do this seated. So sit by a table, and you're going to put your elbows on the table. Okay, so be comfortable, and when you're sitting, have your feet firmly planted on the floor so you can feel the floor beneath your feet. Have your knees at a good angle, so they're not too high and they're not too low, so you've got a 90-degree angle at your knee. Sometimes we sit back on a sofa and we tend to have our knees a little bit higher than our hips, and it can create issues in our hips and in our back. So if you are sitting on a sofa, come towards the front of your sofa. You're probably better off sitting on the chair at the kitchen table. It's probably the best thing. Or if you're sitting at a desk at work, or if you've got a home office, that's probably a good place to sit. So bring both elbows onto the table, and you're going to just allow your hands to relax for a moment. So you can bring them towards your chest, or put them under your head like that, so your head's resting on them. And just close your eyes for a moment and notice how you are sitting. Notice the weight down in your sit bones, if you're leaning onto one side more than the other, if there's more weight on one side, on one sit bone more than the other. Notice the length of your spine. Are you sitting on your tailbone? Or you can imagine that your tailbone was actually a tail, and it was just lengthening out and reaching out behind you. So you're not actually sitting on your tailbone. Notice the length of your spine going up between your shoulder blades and all the way up to the top where the head sits. Can you relax your tongue so it's resting on the roof of your mouth, it's not pressing? Notice the width of your tongue. And then notice your breath. So you're trying not to hold your breath throughout this little session. Okay. So you're going to allow your hands to now come away from your chest or your face, and they're going to relax in front of you on the table. And your left hand is going to stay relaxed. It's your right hand that's going to do the work. So I'd like you to notice your left thumb. Now with your right thumb, so your left hand's not going to move. It can turn a little bit, but you're not going to move your thumb up and down. Your right thumb is going to trace around your left thumb. It's just going to trace around your left thumb, but slowly, okay? So it's not a race. You haven't got to get in so many repetitions before, the time's up or anything like that. You're going at a pace that is comfortable for you, that you can notice what you're doing with complete awareness, and you can sense the sensations coming back into your body by what your right thumb is sensing from your feedback from your left thumb. Right and left thumb getting to know each other. See, so your left hand's hardly moving at all. It's your right thumb that's doing all the work. So you're going all the way down the thumb to where it meets the hand and coming back up again. Moving all the way around the thumb. There's no pattern. You don't have to go round one way and then the other and then reverse it. You're just going at a pace and a style that suits you. Top of the thumb, the nail, every single part of it. Notice if you're starting to hold your breath or if you're clenching your jaw. Now if you close your eyes, if you want to, you might find that you sense more when you take away that visual aspect. And then let that go. And then your right index finger is going to trace around your left index finger. So your left hand stays relatively still. Obviously, if you need to move it, turn the palm towards you a little bit, you can do that, but your index finger on your left hand stays still. The other fingers aren't doing anything, but notice if they're trying to work and help. The left hand staying relatively stable. And obviously you can rest whenever you need to. If you find that your arms are becoming a little bit tired, or if your fingers are feeling tired, you can stop, pause the video and come back. So this is a nice thing to do at any time of day. You're sitting at your desk, or if you're watching telly, or Even if you are doing something like editing photos, can take a lot out of our hands and our eyes and our neck and our shoulders, and we kind of lose this sense of what's going on in our fingers. We just bashing the keyboard or trying to work the mouse, or we kind of expect our hands to do a lot. So this is going to bring quite a powerful lesson to bring some relaxation into your hands, but also the feedback from your hands to your brain. And it's quite a large part of your brain that senses your hands and your fingers, because they are, when we were little babies, is what we needed, our hands, to sense the world around us, to pick up objects and to find out, put them in our mouth, and how we were feeding ourselves, but picking up toys. And this eye-hand coordination is part of survival. Obviously, we need our hands to feed ourselves, but also find the distance of things and picking up things and pressure, how we use our hands. There's a large part of the brain that senses our hands, but obviously get issues with them when we don't use them how we feel they should be used. And then let that go. And then your longest finger, so the right hand, the longest finger, sensing the one on the left. Keeping the left hand relatively still. You can bend it at the wrist, you can straighten it at the wrist, you can turn it, but you're not really using the fingers. It's your right hand that is doing the work of the moving. Check again that you're not holding your breath, going quite slowly, your jaw is relaxed, you're not tensing up anything else in your body, or notice if you are, or if you're starting to slump, if your head's coming forward. Keep the length of your spine, the tailbone long behind you, be sensitive in your feet, be aware of the room around you, and let that go. So we're going to skip the next finger for the moment and go straight to the little finger. So right little finger going around your left little finger, and this is lovely for me because I had an accident when I was little. I put my hand through a door and I had stitches all the way down the middle of my left little finger. It wasn't until I started practicing neurokinetic therapy and now practicing somatics and things like that I really started to feel that the sense of my left little finger came back, so I didn't have to use my shoulder so much. It's kind of weird what you get used to, what your brain gets used to before, when you kind of wake up the senses of something, you realise, well, all those years I wasn't actually using my hands properly or my fingers properly. So if you had any stitches or any injuries, any scars anywhere on your hands, it's just a lovely thing to practice. And then let that go, let them relax for a moment. Just regroup and sense your body, sense your spine, pelvis. Close your eyes if you want to. Sense your feet, the ground beneath you. How is the weight now sitting in your pelvis, right and left side? How do your eyes feel? Now we'll come back to this finger that we didn't work with, your ring finger, and with your right ring finger, trace around your left. Your eyes closed if you can, go slowly, slowly, slowly. I'm probably going a bit too fast for the purpose of this video. Take all the time you need to sense each of your fingers. Where the finger becomes the hand, notice that. Trace all the way around that finger, any direction you want to. And then when you're done, let it go and relax. Notice your breath, your jaw, how you're sitting, the weight and the weight or how it's distributed on the chair, the ground underneath your feet. And then gently open your eyes if they're closed, and being aware of the room around you, if anything feels different. Anything feels different in your hands, and what you're seeing, and the colours, and how you feel. And thanks for joining me. A quick little, under 10 minutes, more or less, session. You don't have to do the other hand because we've been using both hands really well. Okay, happy practicing.